Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is XPLovecat and I make content all related to H.P. Lovecraft, the horror writer from 1920s. And today I'll be reviewing the recently released Color Out of Space movie. That's right, friends, an adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's Color Out of Space has reached theaters. It was directed by Richard Stanley and stars Nicolas Cage. I was pretty pumped to see this movie, and let me just tell you, it did not disappoint. It's been a couple days since I've seen it, and I'm still thinking about it and some of the horrifying scenes in that movie. Lovecraft is known to be pretty difficult to translate since it's based on the unknown and also relies a lot on the readers to use their imagination to figure out what's going on. But this film not only translates his work beautifully by capturing the core essence of cosmic horror, but it's also able to expand the story a bit more without straying too far by adding depth to the characters and also adding some more traditional plot structure and horror elements. For those of you not familiar with Lovecraft's story, the basic premise is a meteorite hits just west of Arkham, Massachusetts, and this meteorite contains an alien-type organism that starts to transform the land and people around it. And so with that comes chaos and, of course, madness. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into my thoughts on the story, and so I just wanted to let everyone know there will be spoilers moving forward. So if you want to walk in spoiler-free, pause my video, go watch the movie, come on back and see how our thoughts compare. When the film first starts, we immediately get some nods to Lovecraft, which as a fan, that got me really excited for the movie and in the mood. So we got a glimpse of a Miskatonic University sweatshirt that the hydrologist was wearing, and Lavinia has her elder sign tattoo on her foot. So two of those things kind of really got me going and excited to be watching this film. Now, when the meteorite first hits, the youngest son, Jack, seems to be the one most affected by the presence of this meteorite. And he also ends up being the first one to kind of be inundated with the colors influence. So one of the things I really enjoyed about the film was the scenes where Jack was just sitting or standing and staring at the well, and he quotes that he's become friends with whatever was in that well. That was pretty creepy and something that was more classic horror. As the ramp up continues and more family members start to get glimpses of insanity, a couple things happen in the film that I really loved. So the first thing that they did really well was the dichotomy of how the color was making nature around them grow beautifully and prosperous, and it was a very beautiful atmosphere, where at the same time you saw that the people that were affected by the color, their physical and mental states were degrading. The other thing I thought the film did really well was amp up the anxiety at an exponential pace. So it started out a little slow, started building, and then got faster until the chaos explodes at the end. And so that kept me on edge the whole time and really kept me engaged with the film. Now let's talk a little bit about the crazy. So overall, I thought the cast did an amazing job portraying that descent into madness. However, the oldest son in the film kind of fell a little bit flat to me, and his death seemed more of a result of foolishness rather than being overtaken by the color itself. But my biggest pet peeve was the Nicolas Cage accent switch. And if you've seen the film, you definitely know what I'm talking about. So as it went on, I realized that he was doing that to portray when the color was influencing him and how he was talking to his family and the actions that he was taking. However, I thought that the bad Trump impression type accent was distracting and kind of pulled me out of the story a bit. Also, from a character standpoint, I didn't think that the mayor added too much to the story and could have been done without. That being said, the film did a really great job at representing cosmic horror. So when different things were going on, we weren't always shown exactly what was happening, but we had to figure it out by either the sounds or by the reactions of the characters. But let me tell you, when they did show something explicitly, It was creepy as all get out. So that llama lump and the mother-son fusion thing will being ingrained in my head forever. So let's talk a little bit about how close the film was to the original work. So I actually think it stayed quite true to the original story, but there were some minor differences. So, for example, the characters definitely had added depth and they were a little bit different. So, in the story, there was no daughter and there was no one in the family really involved in magic. Also, no mayor character was in the original work. One major difference was that the film took place in modern times. So, they actually had to deal with some technology. They had cell phones and cars. But I actually thought that this added quite nicely to the film because the horror was kind of intensified when you saw that they couldn't contact each other via cell phone and their cars and radios were acting up or not working at all. The pacing was also a little bit different. In the story, it happens over a year or so time frame, whereas in the film it's a bit condensed. The film also takes some liberties in actually showing what happens to each of the family members when they die or get encapsulated by this insanity. And in the story, it's more left up to the reader's imagination and interpretation. The narrator perspective was also a little bit different in the film versus the book. So in the film, the hydrologist was actually a part of the plot. And I liked that because at the end you could see how utterly changed she was as a man from witnessing these events. Whereas in the story, he's just someone who's finding out from someone else what happened during the strange times. One of my favorite parts of the film was that it actually began and ended with the narrator saying actual passages from Lovecraft's Color Out of Space. So I thought that was a really nice touch. So all that to say that I loved this film and I will definitely be seeing it again at some point in my lifetime. I would recommend this to definitely Lovecraft fans, cosmic horror fans, and even classic horror fans. I think are going to get something out of this film and enjoy watching it. So I'm going to be giving this 4 cats and 1 kitten out of 5 cats. Sure, there were some quirks in the film, and it took some liberties from the original story to expand it and make it more of a plot. But I would highly recommend this, and I think that it represented cosmic horror very well and definitely did justice to Lovecraft's Color Out of Space. So if you like this review, let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of the film was, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.